So right now the market's trading slightly higher as investors are sort of bracing, some maybe exhaling because of the outcome of the midterm elections. But what happens, right, if this blue wave goes on? What happens if the GOP pulls an upset and keeps both chambers? The bottom line is no matter what the scenario is, people are going to want to know where to put their money come tomorrow morning. We've got Belpointe Asset Management Chief Strategist David Nelson, Money Map Press Chief Technical Strategist Dr. Barton joining me now. Guys, we know the scenarios. First one, let's just say the one that conventional wisdom, Dems to get the House, GOP keeps the Senate. What does that mean for the market and the economy overall?
Well, I think, Charles, if that, what the market's already expecting, everyone says it's priced in. I think we'll find out tonight it's not priced in. If those numbers start coming in that the Dems are going to win the House, the market is going to take a drop tonight in the overnight. It's going to be in a matter of degrees, I believe, though. If they take it by a lot, if they get a big mandate, I think we'll see a much bigger drop. If it's only by a few houses and we're still few chairs, a few seats, and we're still contending this thing at 1 in the morning, I think it'll be a much more muted reaction.
Yeah, but even a worst-case scenario would be half of what President Obama lost in his midterm. Yeah, so, sure. I'm not sure that the market should recoil that much, although you just never know with the emotional trading of late.
I'll go along with what DR is saying, but I think it's largely a push. I think markets have been expecting it for some time. I think it's the outlier scenarios that really have to be considered here.
What about historically, guys? The year after these midterms, on average, the market's up 15%. Does that come into play?
That works right up until the time that I use that kind of metric in there. I'm not a big believer in that kind of stuff. I think the real outlier that everybody's looking at is if somehow the Democrats pulled it off and they managed to flip the House and the Senate. That has real negative implications for not just the economy,
but the market. Would you pair your portfolio dramatically if that happened?
I'd probably have to change it. I don't know if I would pair it, but I would certainly have to change it. Financials, defense stocks, they're going to take it hard.
So what would you put it in if the Democrats took the House and the Senate? Where would you relocate your money?
What I'd have to do is look at financials right now. Maxine Waters will become chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. That's going to be a war. She's already come out on air and said this is revenge politics, which she's going after these banks. And they've been a big beneficiary of the rollback of regulatory overreach. So that's not a place I'd want to hide.
What if that was the scenario, DR?
Yeah, if that's the scenario, my personal money and the people that I help with theirs, Charles, we're going lighter. I'm going big cash if that happens in the near term, and then we'll see how it shakes out. I think there are some places that we're currently hiding. The staples, I like P&G. I like my old company, DuPont. Things that
you like DuPont, huh? You like these beaten down names. I mean, do you like these as defensive stocks, or do you like them no matter what happens tonight?
As defensive stocks. If the polls get it wrong again, and the Republicans somehow pull off some sort of 1980 miracle, the Olympic analogy, then I'm all in. I'm putting the chips all in tomorrow because I think we're in for a market melt up to the end of the year.
No. Well, I got to take the other side of that. No matter what happens, even if the best outcome happens, market still has some challenges ahead. There's been a big rotation out of growth into free cash flow names, so we're not out of the woods
yet. But this was one of the dark clouds. When we were in the middle of October, there were a lot of things hurting the market, but this was a dark cloud, right? The unknown of the midterms played something of a role.
It certainly does, and the markets don't like uncertainty, and this is the most uncertain thing I've lived through.
I like the action of Martin Marietta today, and I've been talking about materials. I'm down in them, but they've come on strong the last 2 weeks, and this stock is up huge. And I was reading the statement from the company, and they talked about the FAST Act, which was interesting because it passed overwhelmingly under Barack Obama, $300 million. I think President Trump could get something done in infrastructure no matter the outcome tonight. And I'm talking something in the order of about $1 trillion. I'm not saying how we would pay for it. I think
if that happened, then there's obvious stocks you'd want to be long.
Right.
Here, you just mentioned.
Before we go then, because I'm getting a wrap signal, you both like a stock that should be the outcome of tonight should not necessarily matter. You like Lockheed Martin.
I like Lockheed Martin, and even though its defense is maybe not the place to be, this is a free cash flow machine.
And you like Activision.
Yeah, I do like Activision.
Right.
Up and coming, esports is going to just keep growing.
They are. I think a lot of them are going to be starting to there's going to be some takeover activity there, too. David, DR, thank you both very much.